why would I not have my team winning it all? To me, that just doesn't make any sense. A lot of you guys are Warriors fans, and you guys are saying the Warriors are going to win it all. That's biased as well, because the Lakers and Warriors have something in common.
I don't get it, I know you not finna stop. I'm out of touch with reality. Get so mad at my thoughts, like why the hell they laugh at me?
Welcome back to another podcast, episode 3 today. I want to thank you guys, everybody who's watching right now. First off, I want to start off by talking about the past video that I just did on the NBA playoff bracket, because I had a lot of comments on there saying that this is the most biased take that I've ever seen. A lot of people saying that, you know, usually I'm not biased and I'm unbiased, and that was such a biased take. Well, first off, you guys have to remember I'm a Lakers fan. It's the playoffs. Why would I not have my team winning it all? To me, that just doesn't make any sense. You guys, a lot of you guys are Warriors fans, and you guys are saying the Warriors are going to win it all. That's biased as well, because the Lakers and Warriors have something in common. We're both the bottom of the West. We both don't have a lot of wins on the season. We're one game apart. So, in my opinion, unbiasedly, I think that the Lakers and Warriors, if you were to say that they're going to win a championship, is going to be biased if you're calling me biased. That's the first thing that I want to address. Second off is a lot of people were mad because I said the Warriors are going to beat the Kings in 7 games. They're mad because I didn't say 5 or 6 games, or that they're going to sweep the Kings. And I think, you know, I could sit here and say, oh, you're taking the Kings lightly, but in all honesty, that's who I wanted to play first round of the playoffs as a Lakers fan, because I felt like the Kings might be the easiest matchup for anybody, especially a veteran team. Like the Warriors, like the Lakers. Now, the reason I said this was because of the Warriors' road struggles, and because the Kings' atmosphere, and the fact that they have not had a playoff game in 19 years. Okay, so I think that the Kings crowd is just going to be crazy. Now, after watching this Lakers play-in game, by the way, I'm recording this at 12 in the morning after this game, after all the play-in games, I realized that somebody who commented something, I think it was Key Olive, shout out to Key Olive, they said that, you know, it's just showing that in these moments the Timberwolves choked, and it's because the Lakers just have veteran players who don't choke under the bright lights. Now, the Kings stadium, the environment is going to be crazy. Now, a lot of I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and just Warriors fans in general talking about how, you know, I don't think people realize there's going to be a lot of Warriors fans at those games because they're only 2 hours away. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's like a Clippers versus Lakers scenario, but at the same time, Sacramento's home crowd this year has been unbelievable. Now, comparing that to the Clippers is not comparable in my opinion, because the Clippers' home crowd is not that good. And they literally share the same city as LA. Now, there might be a lot of Warriors fans, because there are a lot of Warriors fans in the world, especially because they won the championship last year. So there's probably a lot of rich bandwagon fans that might be going to the game, because ticket prices for the Kings stadium is like double the Warriors. It's like 400 something just to get in and watch the game on Saturday. So a lot of people were mad because I said that the Warriors are going to win in 7 in that series, not 5 or 6. And my logic is, until the Warriors prove to me, and I see with my own eyes, that they could win on the road, then I will believe in them. You know, I don't think it's crazy to say that I'm completely confident that they're going to go in there and sweep and dominate, because everything that I've seen this season just shows me that they lose on the road. And a lot of people just like to say, I only watch the highlights, I don't watch full games. But the record says otherwise. They don't have a good road record. Now, a lot of people are saying playoffs are different. I completely agree with this take. This is why I'm saying the number 6 seed Warriors are going to knock off the number 3 seed Kings. I'm literally saying you guys are going to upset them. I know it's not an upset based on the odds or whatever, but you guys are going to be the higher seed. Okay, now I'm saying that you guys are going to lose to the Suns, but I could definitely see you guys beating the Suns because I know there's a lot riding there. You know, Warriors, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, there's a lot on that game. And I know that's probably what made you guys the most mad because I said the Suns are going to beat the Warriors, but I could definitely see the Warriors beating the Suns that game because I'm not a complete believer in the Suns, and that's why I said the Lakers are going to win in 6. I don't completely believe in the Suns, mostly because of Chris Paul's history, you know? And now, yes, you could say the same thing for my Eastern team, the 76ers, the history with Joel Embiid and James Harden, but maybe that one was a little bit biased. If I wasn't being biased for the East, I was going to say the Bucks. So we could just say the Bucks and Lakers, whatever you want to do, but I do have the Lakers winning it all. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've been saying this the last couple weeks. I truly believe in this team. Now, after tonight's game, I've seen D'Angelo Russell really struggled. D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, both really struggled, and it does kind of worry me. You know, I've seen a lot of Timberwolves fans saying, Lakers fans, now you see the real D'Angelo Russell. You know, I guess he's just not good in the playoffs. That's what happened last year, right? So D'Angelo Russell tonight, he actually played 24 minutes, which even looking back on it, I'm just like, I don't even remember him playing that much minutes. But then again, the game went into overtime. LeBron James played the second most minutes he ever has in his entire career. He played 45 minutes in year 20. Shout out to LeBron James, bro. This was a very clutch game for LeBron James. He's diving on the floor, picking up a stupid loose foul that shouldn't have been called. But you know, LeBron James is showing out 12 for 22, 30 points, 6 assists, 10 rebounds. Now, one thing I could say about D'Angelo Russell, he did go 1 for 9, but he did have 8 assists. So even though he's not shooting good, he still did other things. In my opinion, he did look very shaky and not comfortable out there. And that is something to look at. I think going forward, maybe he does get in his head a little bit, especially playing with LeBron James, because playing with LeBron James, there's probably so much high expectations you might place on yourself. There's a lot of pressure playing with him just because of the career that he's had and the legacy that he's going after. Anthony Davis, a lot of Lakers fans were mad at him because of the foul at the end of the game, which was a very stupid foul. He even said himself that, you know, he sold Dennis Schroeder's game-winning shot. He did, but Anthony Davis played really good. 24 points, 15 rebounds, another huge rebound game for him. And speaking of rebounds, I want to go back earlier in the day. The Miami Heat versus the Hawks playing, because that plan was very interesting to me. I had the Heat winning that in my bracket, so my bracket is already busted. All right, so for the people that were mad at my bracket is busted, you could be happy now. But the Heat didn't look good. And I know this season, you know, they haven't looked like last season. But I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Shout out to Kyle Lowry, because I feel like he has not had a good season this year. He does the little things. You know, he plays defense. He's really good at drawing fouls. He could take charges. You know, he could pass the ball, but he scored. He scored 33 points, and it was like, damn, are he really going to waste this performance from Kyle Lowry that you might not ever get again? But they just can't rebound the ball, bro. They had 60 rebounds, and I'm talking about the Hawks. Hawks had 60 rebounds. Yes, they have Clint Capella, who had 21 by himself, but there's no way they should be getting that much rebounds. And most of them were offensive rebounds, too. The Heat only has 6 offensive rebounds. That's the reason they lost the game. Also, they came out just no energy. And maybe it has to do with the crowd, too, because I was watching the game. Yes, it's at 4:30. But that is on my, West Coast, so it's 7:30 there. No excuse. Why are there no fans in the crowd for a must-win play-in game for the Miami Heat? Like, this is Miami. This is a big market team. I don't get it. You have Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Why are there no people at the game? And maybe that's why the Heat just came out. They look like they just expected themselves to win. Like, they just underestimated the Hawks or something, because, you know, Trae Young's had a history of being bad, whole bunch of rumors going into it that he's getting traded out of nowhere, you know, a new coach, Quinn Snyder. The Hawks look like a mess this year. They come in and kind of dominate this game. Team rebounds. They had 63 rebounds, 21 offensive rebounds to 39 rebounds by Miami with only 6 offensive. Points in the paint were a big story too, because the Heat, the Hawks doubled the points in the paint pretty much. 3-point percentage, the Hawks didn't even shoot that good from downtown. If the Hawks were shooting more threes and making more threes, the game would have been over way earlier. But they were missing a lot of open looks towards the end of the game. They even had more turnovers than the Heat. Trae Young was throwing a lot of turnovers, but he ended up scoring 25, 8 and 7, 21 rebounds for Capella. You know, DeJounte Murray, who's kind of been like, ooh, you never know with him. You know, 18, 5 and 6. Not bad by him. It looked like DeAndre Hunter was going to have a big game at the beginning of the game because they matched up Tyler Hero with him, but it didn't end up that way. And Tyler Hero did have a good game. He was the second best player on the Heat today. 26 points. 0 assists is kind of crazy. He did shoot 23 times. Jimmy Butler shot 19, but he only made 6. But he did play a lot better second half, because first half he was nowhere to be found. Jimmy Butler finished with 21 points, 9 assists. Bam Adebayo didn't do a damn thing. 12 points, 9 rebounds in 41 minutes. It's kind of crazy. Like I said, Kyle Lowry, 33 points. So I'm kind of worried about the Heat. I'm not going to lie. You know, I could just be like, oh, you know, that's not going to happen again. They realized it. But, bro, wake up, Heat. You're on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs. To me, that's crazy. Everybody had you guys in this game easily. With all this stuff going on, especially Charles Barkley, who said, I will bet $1 billion that the Hawks will lose this game because the Hawks, quote, the Hawks stink. And that's what happens when Charles Barkley want to bet on your team. So, they play the winner of the Raptors and Bulls game for the last seed to play the Bucks first round, and I definitely do not see the Heat beating the Bucks. If they can't beat the Hawks, they're not beating the Bucks, because the Bucks got Giannis and Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis. That rebounding trouble is gonna be even doubled, and the Heat don't really have a good offense either. I mean, it's not bad. Tyler Hero could score, and you know, it looks like Kyle Lowry could score and everything, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Heat at this moment. I could definitely see them losing to the Raptors or the Bulls, which is tomorrow. And for those games, I did originally have the Bulls beating the Raptors. Also tomorrow is going to be the Thunder and Pelicans. And I did say that the Pelicans are going to win that game. And right now I'm kind of worried about the Timberwolves, because 16 points in that fourth quarter. They were choking at the end of that game. Choking. Kyle Anderson literally dropped the ball and had a backcourt violation. They had so many chances to win. So many chances. The Lakers just always have some Hollywood finish. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, wow, the Lakers aren't going to do anything versus the Grizzlies based on that game. The people are saying that obviously have not been watching the Lakers this whole year, because that's what we do. That's what we do. We make every game dramatic for no damn reason. We make every game unnecessarily more difficult than it needs to be. Proof. A couple weeks ago, we played the Utah Jazz with a 10-day contract player guarding LeBron James. No Walker Kessler. And they took us to overtime. That's just what we do. We play to our competition, and it's not good. The thing that is good, we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and they tend to just, finish games. But it's been like this the entire season. Games against the Celtics, games against the Sixers. It's been these overtime games. That Mavericks game, the one that we lost, actually we lost both of them. The overtime against Luka, and then the game winner versus Kyrie. The Pacers game, the game winner. a lot of Lakers games have looked like this season. This was the most stressful game for me to watch all year just because there was so much on it. And I'm just thinking the worst. Like, damn, we might lose and have to play the winner of the Pelicans and Thunder. And I'm low-key not looking forward to playing the Pelicans because I think the Pelicans are a very underrated team. I think they could even bounce the Timberwolves out. Maybe they'll even lose to the Thunder tomorrow. I'm very interested to watch that game in specific. I'm not really interested to watch the Raptors or Bulls because either of those teams, in my opinion, is not doing anything in the playoffs. But yeah, I do have a couple things that I want to talk about now that I got all that stuff out of the way. Mostly, I just wanted to address my whole bracket because it seemed like a lot of people just got really frustrated over that. And I understand it because most of my audience is probably Warriors fans. And I said the Warriors aren't going back to back. And now people are claiming that I'm biased for saying that. But I think the people that are saying that I'm biased would fall under the same category as they claim me to be if they are saying the Warriors are going to go back to back, because the Warriors are not the Warriors that they were last year. Now Andrew Wiggins is coming back. You never know. It is Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. You don't count them out. You've seen the documentaries. You've seen the proof last year. And Warriors fans saying, oh, they're starting to doubt us again. But you guys aren't the same team as you were last year. And you guys know it. Even during the season, a lot of you guys were doubting your own team. Now, recently, you guys have looked a lot better. And you are getting Wiggins back. It's looking better for you. And I think that's one of the most important things in sports is going into the playoffs very, very hot. The Kings are going into the playoffs kind of cold. They were losing bad games. And I've been saying the last two podcasts, the last 2 weeks, if you haven't been saying, Warriors fans, Kings are going to lose in the first round. I don't see them getting out in the first round. And people got mad at me for saying that. People got mad at me because I said the Kings aren't going out of the first round. Now people are getting mad at me because I said the Warriors are going to beat the Kings first round in 7 games. So, you can't win. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to say things to make people like me. I'm not trying to say things to make people agree with me. I'm going to say exactly how I feel. In all honesty, I think the Warriors are going to win that series, but it's not going to be easy as all these Warriors fans say it to be. Now, if it is easy, I'm not going to be that shocked because it is Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. But I will definitely be shocked because the Warriors have not shown that they could win consistently on the road or even just be consistent this season alone. Now, if the Warriors do sweep this series and they win in 5 or 6 games, even 5, I'm going to change my entire view on the Warriors. If they get out that series like that, I could definitely see them dominating any other team in the playoffs. But until they prove that, this is my take. That bracket. A couple things I want to talk about. Anthony Edwards had a rough game. Anthony Edwards, I think he finished 3 for 16. A lot of people talking about that, saying that he chokes. That's all it is. He just simply choked the game. I don't know if I'm going that far to say that. I know Reggie Miller during the game was blaming it on the shoulder injury. I don't know if he came in with that injury because he did fall. He had that nasty fall when he jumped on Rui Hachimura, and it did look bad. But he just, in my opinion, was being kind of passive with his shot selection. Like, he was just settling for tough contested standstill threes. And I was watching that game, the last regular season game of the season, Pelicans versus Timberwolves. He looked like a different player in that game. He's the reason that they won, in my opinion. So I am like, damn, what happened to Anthony Edwards a little bit? But at the same time, maybe it is an injury. But mostly, I think, I don't like to use the word choke because I don't know. I just don't like that word. But I think playing in LA and that type of environment, playing against LeBron James, who is literally the leading scorer of all time in the NBA, playing against Anthony Davis, everybody was at home 2020 bubble season, like it's lockdown. Everybody's watching that, So it's gotta be intimidating to play them. Not even just intimidating, it's just got a lot of emotions probably going in with that. And I think it's just very, very difficult to come into LA with a crowd that electric and have a good, consistent game. So I'm not gonna just be like, he choked. I fully expect him to play very, very good his next game versus the Pelicans or the Thunder. Timberwolves will be home for that game, so that is good for them. Karl Anthony Towns looked so dominant the first half of this game, and he just got into foul trouble. And that's another thing I want to talk about right now is this whole, NBA is rigged for the Lakers. Lakers get calls. Here we go. Lakers have the most calls in the NBA. Here we go. Lakers, the refs are bringing the Lakers back in the game. So, this is literally how people hate nowadays. They got to find a way to discredit the Lakers. And I talked about this in the last video I posted. But, it's okay to just be like, damn, the Lakers won the game. Shout out to them. As another team, it's okay to say that. But a lot of people can't say that. I don't think I've ever encountered somebody on Twitter of another team. And this is crazy because I have seen it with other teams. It is rare because, Twitter is literally a place where people go to hate for some reason. So anyways, I've never seen a scenario where the Lakers won a game and somebody on Twitter of a fan of another team was like, hey, shout out to the Lakers. They deserve this win. They look really good. Now, I'm not saying the Lakers looked really good tonight, but you do have to be like, damn, the environment was crazy. You know how stressful it was just watching that? Imagine being in that situation. There's a lot of emotions in that game. So offensively, it's not going to work out consistently for either team. A lot of people just like to look at stats, advanced stats, and say, oh, they choked because they're comparing their stats to a regular season game, which doesn't have the same type of impact and emotions. And I think it's stupid to compare that. For example, like Anthony Edwards choked because look at his stats tonight. He was still scoring, he was still doing other things. Yes, he didn't have the same impact as he normally does, but that is because of the game tonight. D'Angelo Russell didn't have the same impact as he does other time. He's still doing other things, getting assists. So I think we have to look at the playoffs a little bit differently when it comes to statistics and advanced stats, because even in history, you look at it, records in the playoffs are a lot lower than regular season records for a reason. Defense is praised more in the playoffs for a reason, because in the playoffs, and I'm considering the play in the playoffs, that type of atmosphere is harder to play offense. It's not necessarily they're trying harder on defense, even though they are. You could try really hard on defense, but if there's no pressure on the offense to succeed, like you have to make the shot, it's going to be easier for them. But when you're in your own head on top of good defense, it's hard offensively. So that's why the playoffs are mostly defensive. So a lot of people are saying that the Lakers did not look good because of they didn't show any dominance, that they should have, because Gobert's out, McDaniel's out. Mike Conley has been consistent, since that trade. A lot of people probably want to go with the take that he, is D'Lo was, they lost the trade. D'Angelo Russell, the Timberwolves made a good trade. They got Mike Conley instead of D'Angelo Russell. Blah, blah, blah. It's fun to talk like that. I'm not mad at that, But all I'm saying is veteran players are going to be more of an impact player in the playoffs than these younger dudes. And we cannot look at that and judge that player based on that. Yes, we might be able to be like, hey, they should have been playing better. But you can't just be like, they suck, they're trash, they're not him, they choke. Because it's just a pattern. You look at Jason Tatum in the playoffs in the finals last year, he kind of struggled too because he's a younger player. So where I'm trying to go with this is, number one, don't judge a playoff game and be like, wow, they're going to suck the next series because they look bad tonight. Because that Grizzlies and Lakers matchup is going to be just like this. It's going to be a sloppy game. Even that Hawks and Heat game, lots of missed shots. Lots of scrappiness in the paint. Because that's what's going to happen. All these games are going to look like that. There's not going to be dominance by any team offensively in the playoffs. And I think people got to remember that. So when the people are saying the Lakers didn't look good, they're going to just lose in 5 to the Grizzlies based on how they played tonight. I'm telling you, it's going to look exactly the same for the Grizzlies game. A lot of people, I guarantee it, there's going to be a game where John Morant probably struggles, or Jaren Jackson or Desmond Bane. They're going to be like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? It's the playoffs. Defense wins in the playoffs. Now it's going to be a very tough matchup. I am worried about the Grizzlies because they're a very good team. They're the number 2 seed in the West. Come on now. But I don't think that we're going to lose based on tonight's performance. And also, I don't think that the NBA is rigged for the Lakers. That is just desperation coming out to discredit the Lakers. Desperation to find an excuse. And I understand why people do it. It's because of other toxic Lakers fans. And this is why I say I don't like other Lakers fans, just because it's like, you know, one Lakers fan will be like, oh man, Warriors are trash. Jordan Poole is not like Austin Reeves. And it's just like, why are you even saying that? It's like you're baiting your little brother to try to get a reaction out of him. And I'm not comparing the Warriors to little brother, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's the analogy that I'm using, okay? And that's what starts it. Everybody's like trying to get that get back on each other. And I consistently say this. I just want everybody to see that. I like to watch the game as it is and not, you know, blame a player for a loss, like just on one person or one coach, one play. Sometimes give the other team that one credit. Like tonight with the Heat and Hawks, a lot of people like me can be like, what are the Heat doing? Why are they not rebounding the ball? Why is Bam only taking 12 shots? Why is Jimmy Butler shooting 6 for 19? It's their fault. The Heat are bad. Give the Hawks some credit. Look at the other team. We always do this, as you know, just in today's society on Twitter. We always look at the losing team and love to bash on them instead of celebrate the winning team. People in today's society on Twitter are obsessed with the loser more than the winner. Instead of giving the winner their props and you know, showing them off and giving them their trophy and be like, damn, look at all the stuff they accomplished. People love I noticed this is weird. People love a failure story. People love to see other people fail. And in basketball and sports, is people love to see other teams fail. People love to see other players fail instead of seeing other players succeed. For example, tonight versus the Lakers, they're not talking about how, damn, LeBron had a really good game. Dennis Schroeder had a really good game. Anthony Davis had a really good game. Cat had a really good game. Mike Conley had a really good game. You know, he's been through a lot this season, and he's stepping it up and hitting those clutch free throws. You hear, damn, Anthony Edwards choked 3 for 19. He's nothing like Tyrese Halliburton. They just say some random other player to, you know, these fan accounts. And it's like, let's praise the players that play good. You know, Karl Anthony Towns literally looked unguardable the first half until he started getting in foul trouble. And for the people that want to say, oh, the Lakers refs are putting him in foul trouble, there was a lot of calls that both ways were like, why would you call that? You know, we had to have an early challenge because they called a foul on Anthony Davis on a clean block by Vanderbilt on Anthony Edwards, you know, or the goaltend by Vanderbilt Vanderbilt on Cat, you know, or the loose ball diving foul on LeBron James. A lot of people want to be like, oh, it took Cat's rhythm out the game, and it might have, but that's not an excuse. You know, you could say that as an excuse, and you could honor it and be like, okay, yes, it did. But in the playoffs, you got to have that Mamba mentality. You got to fight through adversity. The team that's going to win it all has to go through the most adversity. You look at it every single year. Last year's the Warriors. Everybody's downing them. They're saying the dynasty is over. They had to overcome all that adversity. Klay Thompson's injury. That's in order to make and win it all. You have to go through adversity. So if your team loses and you're just going to sit on excuses, which are valid. I'm not saying the excuses are not valid. Like, yeah, foul trouble can take the rhythm out of a game, but then you got to fight through that. You know, the Lakers, damn, they're losing to a team without Gobert. Blah, we fight through the adversity. You know, that's what you have to do in 2020. The Lakers, we're going to have home court advantage at home. We look like the hottest team in the league. And then COVID hits, lockdown, and then Kobe Bryant dies, and all this adversity hits, and you have to battle through it. It's like this every single year. And a lot of people love to use the excuses to discredit other teams instead of praise the other team for winning and fighting through their adversity. So that's where I'm just trying to get at with this point. You know, a lot of people want to be like, they want to hold the excuses of a team to discredit the winner. And I want to stop doing that. You know, I want to stop doing that because I really hate that. You know, a team will go through the playoffs and one team will get injured, right? This is going to happen. Adversity happens for every single team. There's something that's going to go wrong for every single team. I don't care what it is. It might be little in some people's eyes, big in some people's eyes. It's going to happen to every single team. You know, a team could go through the playoffs, for example, I don't even know, the Lakers or Warriors, you know, they play teams with an injury. They play teams that don't have their full team. And now that's that's that team's adversity. And that team has to fight through it. And if they don't fight through it, they're not going to be able to win it all. And, you know, you could be like, that's why we didn't win. Okay, cool. You didn't fight through adversity. You just didn't have it in you. But we get why you didn't have it in you. It's very tough, you know. You're not nothing without this, you know. But then people are like, oh, they only won because this player was injured. Like, your team didn't have some type of adversity to overcome too. Stop discrediting other teams. And I'm just saying this before the playoffs start because I'm already seeing on Twitter just all the negativity after this game for the Lakers. And I'm not just saying for the Lakers, for every single team, even the Suns, the teams I hate the most, the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Clippers. I'm not going to discredit them if they win because in the end, every team's going to have to overcome adversity. You know, some people like to say Mickey Mouse route, it's easier route, but I don't know. I just don't like to think like that. Let's see. We're talking about Tristan Thompson signing with the Lakers. He was on the bench tonight. I don't even think he's going to play. I was thinking in that Grizzlies series that maybe he could play because the Grizzlies don't got any centers, but, you know, it looks like Wenyen Gabriel's going to play a lot of minutes, which I'm not mad at. What other teams do I really want to talk about? Because I don't want to spend this entire time talking about the Lakers because I know that's probably why a lot of people don't like the Lakers because they talked about a lot. So we'll talk about the Kings and Warriors series a little bit because I am excited about that one. For the first time ever, let this sink in, every single team in California has made the playoffs. And not only that, for the first time ever, the entire Pacific Division has made the playoffs. The Kings, the Clippers, the Suns, the Lakers, and the Warriors. That is crazy. All California teams have made it. So shout out to all these teams. And another thing that's crazy, when the Lakers were 2-10, we are the first team ever in NBA history to make the playoffs after starting 2-10. By the way, when we were 2-10, we had a 0.3% chance of making the playoffs. That is insane. For the people who are saying the whole AD trending thing is like, oh, trade AD, blah, 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 AD sucks. What are you doing, AD? Because he fouled Conley. It was a stupid foul. But it's just literally the stereotypical Lakers fans that give me headaches, that make me want to never go on Twitter again. Shout out to Dennis Schroeder. Random stat. When Dennis Schroeder scores more than 19 points, the Lakers are 10-2. So anyways, going back to this Warriors and Kings series, Andrew Wiggins is rumored to be coming back game 1. So in Sacramento, the tickets to get in, like I said, were like $400 and something. That I can't even try to even comprehend what that atmosphere is going to be like inside of that stadium. It's going to be so much fun to watch that game. And for the people who don't want me to watch it for the reactions, You got me messed up. I'm watching that game live, and I'll still react to it after the game, but I'll let you know that I didn't see it. I mean, I saw it. I'm doing the reaction, but I really want to see that atmosphere, because like, seeing that the Clippers have not made the playoffs in 16 years. 16. There's some people, there might be a person watching this video that's not even 16 years old. The Kings have not made the playoffs in 16 years. You know how much has evolved? Flight said this. You know how much has evolved in just the world since the last time the Kings made the playoffs? I don't even think the iPhone was invented, bro. That's crazy to me, bro. That is, I don't even think Twitter was invented. It probably was, but you know. By the way, I did see Twitter was like legally changed their name to like X something. X Corp. I don't know what the hell Elon Musk is doing. They're saying by April 20th, they're going to be removed. That man, Elon Musk, is a kid, bro, in a grown man's body. A rich kid. On 4/20, that's the day he picked. On 4/20, they're going to be taking away the checks, the blue checks, and you got to pay for it. So I'm interested to see what Twitter's going to be like after them. Definitely. What else? Kyle Kuzma's been very vocal on Twitter the last couple of days. He's in a contract situation. He's a free agent, and he tweeted during the Heat game. And it's also funny to see some of these players or former players tweeting on Twitter. I'm not talking about Kyle Kuzma. Mostly in my mind right now, I'm thinking of Nick Young. Very casual NBA fans come up with these wild takes. Speaking of that, DeMarcus Cousins. He's one of them. He said, I'm all for confidence, you know, self-belief and everything. It came out recently that he said that the Lakers didn't even offer him a contract. Nothing. I don't even think they offered him anything after the workout. They didn't talk to him. And he came out and said that he believes he's still a top 3 center in the NBA. That means he'd be better or as good as Joel Embiid, the MVP, in my opinion, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, Jaren Jackson Jr., Bam Adebayo, Domantas Sabonis. He thinks he's as good as all them. And he was just in the league recently. And maybe that's why teams don't sign him, because he still has that egotistical view on himself, and he's more of like a role player. That's what people need. I think the last team he was on was the Nuggets with Jokic. So playing with Jokic, he still believes he's a top 3 player. Interesting that out of him, Myers Leonard got a contract and not DeMarcus Cousins. And that just shows that, I don't know what that shows. What do you guys think that shows? I just think that shows that maybe some players just don't want to accept the role. Maybe Carmelo Anthony can be like that too, you know, didn't want to come off the bench. And then he did, and then, you know, it's not too bad. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. He didn't want to come off the bench. But it is very sad, because you just think back when I was, you know, younger a little bit, DeMarcus Cousins was the best center in the league. And it's sad to go from that, deal with injuries. He even has a championship ring. To deal with all that, actually, he might not have a championship ring. I think they lost that year to the Raptors. But anyways, he dealt with all of that. Like, just imagine being the best center in the league, and now you're out of the league. Same thing goes with Isaiah Thomas on the Celtics. You know, it's got to be hard for those type of players. But I did see that he said, DeMarcus Cousins said that Jokic, who's his former teammate, by the way, should not win 3 MVPs in a row, because then he's going to enter GOAT status, and he's not a GOAT. And maybe I do agree with this a little bit, you know, if you think about it. But then you do have to base these awards season on season. Steve Nash has 2 MVPs over Kobe. So I don't think the MVP award really means that much. But he was just pretty much saying, how can a player who's never won a championship, never done anything successful, win 3 MVPs back-to-back seasons? Steve Nash is a prime example of that. You know, he got 2 MVPs and never won a championship. So I don't really necessarily agree that MVPs, you have to be, it puts you in the GOAT status automatically. But I do kind of get what he's saying. I think a lot of people were like, okay, I don't want Joel Embiid to get it just because, or I want Joel Embiid to get it just because he hasn't got it yet, and the voter fatigue thing. But now I think we really realize that Joel Embiid really does deserve this award. So yeah, I was doing my awards recently and I was just looking at it. For MVP, I had Joel Embiid. For Sixth Man of the Year, I had Malcolm Brogdon. For Rookie of the Year, Paolo Banchero. For Defense Player of the Year, I had Jaren Jackson Jr. And there was a leak that only like 2 people voted for him, and everybody was voting for Evan Mobley. Even there was somebody, I think it was Kevin O'Connell, maybe? Somebody voted for Draymond Green. I don't think it was Kevin O'Connell, but somebody voted for Draymond Green for Defensive Player of the Year. So it doesn't even look, based on this, that Jaren Jackson is going to get it. Coach of the Year, Mike Brown. It was rumored today that he literally has every single person's vote. So that one is locked up. Rookie of the Year is locked up. And I think MVP is locked up. The only ones that I think are toss-up is Malcolm Brogdon, Emmanuel Quickley, Bobby Portis for Sixth Man of the Year. And Defensive Player of the Year is looking like Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson, and Draymond Green, I guess, somehow. So I guess that's what's going to happen. A lot of people talking about all NBA teams now. First team, this is very hard because I was thinking Damian Lillard has had a very, very good season. He had a game where he scored 70 points, although Donovan Mitchell did the same thing. And he might even just be on the third team, Damian Lillard. Maybe it's just because of his team. It came out recently that he said he doesn't want to get young players. It's rumored that they're going to trade their draft pick unless they get like a really high pick, the first pick or whatever. They're going to trade it because they want to win now. So they're going the route where they're keeping Damian Lillard. Pretty much from my understanding, they're going to keep Damian Lillard and they're just going to build around him. So who knows what the Trailblazers are going to do. He said that they have some needle movers, quote, that are going to help them out this coming offseason. So going back to the whole Kyle Kuzma tweeting, that's where all this started from. He was just tweeting during the Heat game when the Heat were just getting out-rebounded and kind of struggling offense. He said the Heat need a shot maker. So I don't know what Kuzma's trying to do. During the Lakers game, he's talking a lot too. He put a GIF, I think, after the game of him and LeBron celebrating. I think today he said he don't even really care about money. He just wants, I don't know what he said exactly, but I think Kuzma could definitely leave the Wizards. Bradley Beal looks very, very frustrated too about the Wizards situation. So yeah, I do really want to talk about the playoffs a little bit more. All this other stuff is fun to talk about, all NBA teams. I guess I could do that right now. All NBA teams. Next year is going to be positionless and 65 games required. This year it's still, you got to go by position, and the 65 game rule is not in effect. So my first all NBA team, I'm going to have Donovan Mitchell and this one's tough, but I think I might go Shea. Donovan Mitchell and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at the guard position. Small forward, let's go center. Joel Embiid at center. Power forward, I think I might have to go Jaren Jackson Jr. And the other forward, this one is tough. To me, forwards are tough because there's a lot of good forwards in the NBA. I'll go to second team. So second team, I'm going to go Stephen Curry, and I'm going to go Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry, and then I'll have LeBron James in there with Anthony Davis, and I wish I could do Sabonis, but he is not listed as a center. So I need a power forward for my second team. My third team, third team is tough too. Because I know I'm probably leaving somebody out too. Like a lot of people be like Devin Booker, but I just don't put Devin Booker in there just because he missed so many games. I would put James Harden, but I'm not going to be biased and put James Harden in there. By the way, I take AD out of the second team. I'm going to put Jokic in the second team. So Jokic is going to be my second team. AD will be on my third team. Let's see. Guards for my third team. I know I'm missing somebody. I did see like a vote recently on this. But third team guards. Who am I missing that had a really, really good year as a guard? Luka Doncic. What am I thinking? But yeah, I'm gonna put Luka third team. I know that's questionable. And if I was to flip it, I would flip him in SGA. But I'm just gonna give SGA it because Luka's team did not make the playoffs, and SGA made the play-in with a worse team, in my opinion. So I have Luka Doncic. And then I could say Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown had a pretty good year. By the way, going to my first team for forwards, I might go Jimmy Butler. Is that crazy? Jimmy Butler first NBA team? That might be very crazy. I might be forgetting somebody. I could say Kevin Durant, but he just, in my opinion, hasn't played enough games. So my first team, I guess I'll go Jimmy Butler. My second, I'll go LeBron for it. Third, I have Luka. I have Jaylen Brown. I have Anthony Davis. I need some forwards. I don't know why forwards are so hard to think of right now. I really don't even know. This is why I don't do these all NBA. I'm just happy I don't have to vote for them. But yeah, that's what I got. I don't want to do rookie, defensive, whatever. But anyways, I want to talk about the playoffs because that's what's coming up this weekend. The play-in, there's still a couple games coming up tomorrow and on Friday. So my predictions still stand until I got to fill out a game. Like, it's very hard. I think the fact that everybody was getting so pressed over my bracket, like, I don't think you should take these brackets so seriously before the playoffs start. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's kind of cheating if you just feel a game out, then do it. And it's more fun to do a bracket. But to call me crazy for having these picks, I don't think should be a thing because nobody has seen what these matchups are going to look like. Yes, you could go back and look at the stats and the splits of when they played each other this year, but the playoffs are completely different. I think the recipe for success so far from what I've seen is going to be interior defense, because I've seen a lot of blocks today, a lot of rebounds, steals. So defense, interior defense, veteran players. You're gonna need a vet. I think it's gonna be very, very hard to win without a veteran player. So I was saying that the Cleveland Cavaliers are my sleeper team, but now I'm kind of worried about them because they don't have a veteran player. Maybe Ricky Rubio, who, in my opinion, is not the type of veteran player you want in the playoffs. Not easy, not bad, but he ain't gonna do much, you know? Julius Randle's coming back for game 1 in that series too. That's gonna make it special. The Knicks don't really got a veteran player either. So I could definitely see the Knicks not going very far. Interior defense and rebounding, perimeter defense, and veteran players. So far is my recipe. Because shooters, the Timberwolves shot very good tonight and they still lost the game. The Hawks didn't even shoot that good today and they won the game. That's just based on today. So the thing about the Warriors is going to be their defense. They have the veterans. They have the players who've been there, done that. Curry's going for his 5th ring. LeBron's going for his 5th ring. That's another crazy thing to think about. Will Curry move up like in the conversation of all-time players if he gets another ring? Where would he even be ranked at? I don't think Finals MVP is a good way to judge this. Because Kobe Bryant only has 2 Finals MVPs when he should have at least one of the Shaq era, probably. But I can't take one away from Shaq because Shaq was dominant too. Final MVP is stupid to me because 2020 bubble, LeBron got Finals MVP, but without AD, he's not winning that. You know, it's like a dual award. But anyways, Warriors got the veteran players. I could say they got perimeter defense. And, you know, DiVincenzo, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins is coming back. The thing that worries me about the Warriors is rebounding. I think that first series is gonna be good for them. Although they are going against the best rebounder in the entire NBA, Domantas Sabonis. Best rebounder in the entire NBA. Sabonis is going to be interesting to see if he could cause some problems for the Warriors, because in the playoffs, shots don't go down as much as they did. The game kind of slows down. Both those teams play at a fast pace. I'm so interested. I need to feel out one of those games. Then I will come back and give you guys my opinion. Just one of the games. I remember watching game 1 of the finals. The Warriors lost at home. I felt it out. I talked about it. I didn't give up. I didn't say, oh, the Warriors are going to lose. I still thought the Warriors are going to win. Trust me, I know when a team is going to win the finals. Yes, I might, be a little biased saying the 76ers are going to the finals. I am kind of worried saying that the Lakers are going to go to the finals, but I am a Lakers fan. I am unbiasedly, in my heart, I've seen this team this entire season. I've been through all the up and downs. From the 2-10 start to the craziness after the trade deadline. I truly believe in this team. We have LeBron James. How can you not believe in this team? We have LeBron James in a historic season, still playing very good. Anthony Davis. A healthy Anthony Davis with shooters around him and defense. Why am I crazy for thinking that they're going to go to the finals? Why am I crazy for thinking that they're contenders? They're one of the hottest teams in the league, one of the best defensive teams in the league. Kendrick Perkins, who I'm not saying is the best, whatever you want to call him, analysis, said today after that game that the Lakers are going to win the finals championship team. So I don't think I'm crazy for saying that. I don't think that's unbiased to say the Lakers can win the finals. 76ers, I've been saying this the whole year. I truly believe that they have the best team in the East. Like, better than the Bucks and Celtics. And I know that's crazy to say, but there's so much conditions on this, like the what ifs. It's just like it's the team that I questioned the most. As a James Harden fan, something always happens to his team that it's just like, damn, the basketball gods hate James Harden. Last season, they get by easily in the first round against the Raptors. They go against the Heat, and Joel Embiid got hurt, and it's just James Harden. He did look like Rocket James Harden in a couple games. Actually won a couple games by himself, but the year before that, when he was on the Nets, the hamstring injury. It's always something with James Harden that the basketball gods don't like about him. So that, and on top of that, a lot of people want to say Joel Embiid has never done anything. But at the same time, look at his teams. I was listening to a couple of his teams recently. The team that they said had so much potential his first year that he should have gone far. They had Ben Simmons, who was very, very young. JJ Redick. Ersan Ilyasova, Marco Bellinelli. What is he I think Sarge. What is he supposed to do with that team? This is the most talented team Joel Embiid has ever had. James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, DeAnthony Melton, Shake Milton, Montrezl Harrell, who's probably not going to play a lot of minutes, George Niang, who's a shooter. They have a very talented team, and I believe that they have a system that works with James Harden and Joel Embiid's pick and roll and the pocket pass and the ball movement on the perimeter, the interior defense that Joel Embiid presents, the mismatches that he creates. I truly believe with a game manager, the best assist man in the entire NBA, another assist title with James Harden and Joel Embiid, that team can make a run. Now, I'm not complete confident in them because of the basketball gods. They just don't really mess with James Harden. And Joel Embiid don't really have the best luck either with injuries. But I think if they could stay healthy, there's no injuries with the 76ers, I truly believe they could win it all. That being said, there's going to be adversity with that team, and I think probably something's going to happen. Maybe not an injury, and it's going to be tough for them. I'm trying to look up a stat right now because I saw this stat earlier today. James Harden got another assist title. He has 2 assist titles now. I think he has 3 scoring titles. First player ever to do that. I think only him and Westbrook have an assist title and a scoring title. Those are the only two players to have it. James Harden is the only player to have 2+ assist titles and 3 scoring titles. So that is crazy. Okay, yeah, James Harden is now the first player in NBA history with 3 scoring titles and 2 assist titles. Shout out to James Harden. Joel Embiid, points leader, scoring title. James Harden, assist title. Why am I crazy to think that they're going to win or go to the finals? Like, why am I crazy? I understand I'm a James Harden fan, but I really think this team is really good. This is the most talented team Joel Embiid's had. This is the most talented team that James Harden's had. And James Harden played the toughest team of NBA history. He played them and almost beat them. With Chris Paul, who has the worst luck in the league, by the way, because he got injured. And his team wants to miss 27 threes. The ref's not calling a damn thing in that game 7. But anyways, yeah. I don't think I'm being biased. My bracket, yes, I was having a little bit of fun. And there was definitely a fan talking as a Lakers fan saying that we're going to win it all. What do you guys want me to do? Come up here and it's going to be the Bucks versus the Suns. Like, bro, everybody's saying that. That's the most obvious answer. And you cannot predict that. That's probably not going to happen because there's so much stuff that goes into the playoffs that's so unpredictable. So watch this. At the end of it all, let's see how crazy I am now. I'm not saying the Lakers going to win it all. I'm not saying 76ers are going to win it all. Guaranteed. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, when we get to the end of it all and we look back on who was the favorites, we're going to be like, damn, who would have thought this team would have done this? Damn, who would have thought this team would have done this? That's how it is every single year. So I don't think I'm crazy. I don't think I'm biased. Definitely, yeah. I know a lot of people were mad at me for that bracket, but hey, listen, that's one thing about me. I'm always say what I think when it comes to sports. I've always been that way. Even with my friends before I had a YouTube channel, with James Harden's MVP and Westbrook's MVP those years, I was always vocal on what I thought, and sometimes people didn't agree with what I said, and I would never change what I said. You know, I say my opinion. You could say if it's biased or not, but I have my reasons for it. I think that there's a reason for every single take in the world. You know, even saying that the NBA rigs games for Lakers, I'm sure that there's proof that people could find somehow of that happening. But to me, everybody's going to have their own opinions on the game. And that's what makes sports beautiful. So that's all I really want to get out of this entire podcast. If I had to summarize everything, I just really want to talk about that bracket that I made. The Warriors fans, Lakers, people that hate the Lakers. I just wanted to address it all, just the type of fan. Listen, summary. Every single team in these NBA playoffs is going to go through adversity, no matter what. Every single team. And the team that wins it all at the end of the year is the team that fights the hardest through all of that adversity and stays together as a team. That's what happens. So don't look at these games on a game-by-game basis and be like, they played bad this game. That means they're not going to do shit this next series. They play bad this game. That means the series is over because the playoffs are not consistent. And that is one thing that in history we have seen. That's all I got to say, man. Quit being so toxic, man. That's another thing. Stop using excuses to discredit the team that won. There's going to be excuses for every team that loses. Every single time. The Heat lost versus the Hawks. What's the excuse? It's probably not a lot because Heat fans are pretty much just saying we suck. But there's got to be an excuse for that game, right? And now people will take that excuse. For example, the Timberwolves lost to the Lakers. Oh, they lost because Cat got in foul trouble. They lost because they didn't have Gobert. They lost because Jaden McDaniels was out. They lost because they only scored 16 points and they choked at the end. And then, that's cool. You could say all that. There's nothing wrong with that. But do not use that to discredit the team that beat them. That's all I'm saying. Don't use all of that to discredit the team that beat them, because the team that beat them had to go through their own adversity. For example, the Lakers started the season 2-10 with a 0.3% chance of making the playoffs. Did not look good the entire season. Had to trade at the deadline after all this pressure of fear of making a trade, because we've been making so many bad ones over history the last couple of years. We fight through all that adversity. It was not easy, and we made the playoffs. And we won. So every team has its own adversity. Do not use the excuses of the losing team to discredit the winning team. That's the only thing I want everybody to take out of this video. That, and it's okay to have your own takes, your own opinions on things. Don't let people change you. Just try to be less toxic. That's all I strive for. I'm going to have takes that people don't agree with, but I'm just trying to do it without being toxic. Try to picture these athletes, these teams and players as real people, and really look through what they are going through, what they had to do to get where they are. Just look at that. You'll start appreciating them more. So all we need to do is appreciate these players and teams more. Because I think we have gotten too far from that. We've gotten to a place where we love to just, like, we're obsessed with seeing people fail. We're obsessed with people's failures instead of in awe and, looking up to and being inspired by people's successes and player successes and team successes. Let's focus on the success. And this is just advice in life in general. Don't look at people's failures and use, like, step on them so you get, you stand taller. Stop stepping on people so you could get taller. Instead, put your ego aside and look at the people that are doing things that you want and be like, damn, that's inspiring. Use that as motivation to get you there, instead of being like, nah, I don't believe I could get there, so I'm just going to talk shit on them, discredit every single thing that they do, and step on the people that suck so I feel like, I'm worthy. That's all I say. That's all I'm saying. Let me know your guys' takes. Playoffs start this weekend. Warriors fans, drop everything in the comments this video. What do you have to say? Your reaction on everything I said in this video. Every single Wednesday, we will be dropping at 10 a.m. as promised. Soon, we will be doing live streams, and I will be having a Discord once I'm starting to get a rhythm of this podcast thing, where I invite some of you guys to come talk up on here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, another episode of a podcast. Thank you guys if you're watching at this point. You're a real one. Make sure that you like this video. This is ZTAY. Peace.
I'm out of touch with reality. Get so mad at my thoughts, like why the hell they